Hey guys, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and today we're going to go over the age-old question of should you summon, this time on Cynthia and Garchomp's banner. So, Cynthia and Garchomp's coming, I think later tonight, if I remember correctly. It's what, 7 o'clock PST on the 31st, right? So I guess that's later tonight. And I'll be live streaming summons, so, check out the channel around that time, and you'll find myself live streaming the summons, and hopefully we'll get some good luck on this banner if we are summoning, right? So, anyways, we're gonna go over Cynthia and Garchomp, some reasons why you should summon, some reasons why you probably shouldn't summon, and then I'll hopefully come to a conclusion at the end. I don't even know if I am going to come to a conclusion or not, because this is a tricky banner. So, anyways, before we get into any of that, like I say every single time, if Cynthia is your favorite character, if Garchomp is your favorite Pokemon, summon, okay? If you just love Cynthia, if you love Garchomp, go for it. Who cares if it's good or not? Who cares if it's whatever, right? If you like it, you summon for it, right? That's basically it. So, that aside, let's go over Cynthia and Garchomp. So, this Cynthia and Garchomp, the first, I guess, biggest pro for this sync pair is its typing. It's ground type. Reason why ground type is a huge plus for Cynthia is because almost all the ground type Pokemon in this game suck. They're terrible, right? So aside from, like, let's open this tab and see what's in here. Okay, we got Garchomp, Mega Garchomp. Obviously, they're coming out, right? You know, Garchomp Mega evolves into Mega Garchomp. The other two are Hapu, Mudsdale, and Clay Palpitoad. And if you don't know what these guys are, what they do, they're spoilers. They're terrible. And also, I'm having a Mudsdale video coming out later today, which could actually make it kind of interesting. But, you know, overall, they're not the greatest, unfortunately. So that's a huge plus to Cynthia's, pullability. Is that a word? I guess it's a word now, pullability. But, you know, that's a point in her favor because obviously everyone else is terrible in the ground type category, and Cynthia's obviously much better than all of them, right? So as soon as she comes out, she's the best ground physical striker in the game. No question about it. Okay, right? So, again, it is a physical striker, so it's not going to use Earth Power or whatever. Her moves are, what? Earthquake and some other move that I just can't. Stomping Tantrum. Okay. Stomping Tantrum. So, basically, if you look at her stats, overall, okay stats, right? Really good speed, which is something that she has over Dragonite, right? Because a lot of people will probably be comparing her banner and Dragonite's banner. Dragonite has more bulk. Cynthia has more speed, basically. And Dragonite has more special attack and attack. But Dragonite's a special type striker, and then, like, I personally find this comparison between Dragonite and a Garchomp hilarious, because one's a ground type physical striker, the other one's a dragon type special type striker. You can't compare these two. These are completely different. You're gonna use them in completely different scenarios. So, like, there's no point comparing these, right? So you got a lot of speed. Well, decent amount of speed, right? You got a lot of attack. And this isn't even her final form yet, right? To quote Dragon Ball Z, sorta. And the other stats are whatever. But the other stats don't matter. You don't need special attack at all. She doesn't have any special attack moves. And for the HP, defense, and special defense, you don't want these to be super high anyways, especially if you're running it in solo. And you would probably use Garchomp in solo a lot, because Garchomp is, one, very, very freaking good in solo, and two, it relates to the Solgaleo event, which we'll talk about in a bit. So, bulk, not that great, but that's actually a point in her favor, honestly. So again, attack not the highest, right? It's not, it's not like Lycanroc level, right? But it attacks still fairly high, 331, right? It's not terrible. So let's go over her moves. So first move, Stomping Tantrum. Its power is doubled if the user's previous move failed. Really hard to fail. It's both her moves are 100% accuracy. So very rare scenarios would you have this be doubled. But if you do get the chance, get that 88 damage for only 2 bars, right? You know, that's great. 100% accuracy. If it's doubled, it's 88, and then for only 2 bars. Physical ground move. So you won't be using this a lot. Actually, you might be using this a lot. It really depends, right? If you're in co-op, if you're just trying to farm for unity attacks, then obviously you want to use Stomping Tantrum because it's only 2-bar moves, and 2-bar moves are better in co-op if you're trying to farm for unity attacks, which are really, really strong. So there's that as well. But again, just don't expect to use this effect too often because again, it is you do have 2 100% accuracy moves, really hard to fail. And also for those talking about you could like target a flying type beforehand and then go for this. Well, first of all, that's a complete waste of 2 bars. Second of all, there's no immunity in this game. So ground types do normal damage to flying types. I know. What the heck? But still, that it is what it is. They're trying to simplify the game. Unfortunately, even though honestly, for me, even though they're trying to simplify the game, so they're like there's only 1 weakness per Pokemon. There's no immunity. Honestly, it's super confusing to me because like I know the weaknesses, I know the immunities from the main series, and then now you like throw like these like single weaknesses at me, and then it gets me confused. Like, so like if I see a Floatzel, I'm like, oh, is Floatzel weak to grass or electric, right? So I personally don't think they made it much simpler. I think they made it a bit harder for veteran players of Pokemon. But I guess maybe it's easier for new players. I don't know. Anyways, that's a whole different discussion. Moving on. You got X attack, which is nice, right? Sharply raises a user's attack, so you get +4 physical attack if you use this twice. Earthquake, this is her 3-bar move. 3-bar move, 100% accuracy, 100 power, ground physical. It is a AoE, which again is problematic in co-op to say the least. But I mean, there could be scenarios where it's good. Even though like a lot of times AoE attacks are bad, but if you're like running triple Cynthia with triple Earthquake, that's actually not bad, right? That sort of mitigates a lot of the downsides of AoEs, or if you're just running like triple AoE, right? It doesn't have to be triple Cynthia. Triple AoE, that just makes the downside of Earthquake a bit less, right? And also if you're running in single player, Earthquake will destroy your opponents, right? So there's that as well. And also, once you take out the sides and then you're just facing your opponent, you get a 100% accuracy, 100 power move for 3 bars. So that's pretty cool, right? Moving on. Match is too fun. This one raises speed and crit rate. Stats are doubled when in Sandstorm. So here is where this is where you take points away from Cynthia, this move. This move would have been great if it was just unconditionally sharply raises speed and crit rate, but that's not the case. It's only raised, so it's only +1 to speed and +1 to crit. So you can't get to 100% crit with Cynthia on her own. You need Sandstorm. So that means you'll need Acerola and Palisand to get that Sandstorm up so you get that +4 on speed and +3 crit rate in 2 turns, right? So that obviously limits your team composition in solo player and also would, also take a spot in co-op. Although, personally, I don't know. It really depends. Like, in co-op, sure, it only takes 1 space. Not that big of a deal in comparison to single player, but also you're wasting quite a lot of time with this, switch and switch out. Throw in Acerola, Sandstorm, switch it out. Then a few turns later, you got a Sandstorm again, switch Acerola back in. And, when you switch Acerola back in, your buffs are gone if you switch out Garchomp, right? And also, the reason why you probably want to keep the Sandstorm up is because you have Surging Sand, which powers up moves in Sandstorm, which obviously helps. So, yeah, overall, moveset's okay, I guess. Moveset could be better, but Cynthia, again, has other pros, which I guess kind of cover a lot of these, right? So moving on, the sync move is pretty bad. Just like, most Mega Pokemon sync moves don't do much damage. It's not here to do damage, it's here to turn you into Mega, which after you Mega, you're a absolute monster in terms of stats, right? You're like number 4 in physical attack, almost 400 physical attack, right? And then, well, I mean, that's basically all you need here. I think you get slightly better bulk as well, which is fine, I guess. Especially in lower or later stages of co-op, I guess that certainly helps. So moving on, and again, you're not in top 10 or whatever, so I guess the bulk thing doesn't matter too much unless like your supports, your tanks are like super under leveled or whatever, you still retain the same moves. Well, not the same moves. You actually get Slash instead of Stopping Tantrum, which is nice because Slash actually gets powered up by Ground Shift, which turns normal moves into ground moves. Obviously, you don't have Stab in this game, but that's type coverage, right? So you get a 2-bar move with 50 power that increases your crits. So even if you don't have Sand, if you're not running Sandstorm, you know, you could use this match is too fun twice, and then, you know, Slash, that's still a guaranteed crit, right? And again, ground type with Ground Shift. Moving on to its other passives. You know, these are the passives that you get even with regular Garchomp. Hit and Run, too, is nice. Occasionally raises the Pokemon speed after it uses a move. That always helps. You want to get as many speed buffs as you can because, again, if you are, you know, if you're running like a triple Cynthia comp, you want to get, you know, as much Earthquakes as you can that you could spam, right? If you can't spam, then you'll go back to, you know, Slash or Stomping Tantrum, right? So overall, I think Cynthia's pretty nice. You know, a lot of people are saying Cynthia's bad. I don't think Cynthia's bad at all. I think Cynthia's actually pretty decent. And look at her competition. Honestly, if you're looking at physical strikers, like what even is her competition? Like, okay, sure, there's Lycanroc, and Lycanroc's really, really good, right? You know, even after the nerf, Lycanroc, Pinsir, what else? I guess Sceptile with Bullet Seed, right? Bullet Seed, Sceptile, Solgaleo, and that's about it. Like everyone else, I mean, you have Hilda, Alyssa, which aren't terrible, right? For Alligator, not bad. But if you compare them to Mega Garchomp, I mean, they're not that much different, right? In terms of power levels. I'd even say Garchomp's probably even better than, say, an Alyssa or Hilda, or maybe even for Alligator. Because, again, they got their downsides as well. Massive downsides, right? Alyssa has that recoil. Same with Hilda, right? Both have massive recoil damage, which obviously sucks. For Alligator is incredibly unreliable, right? You know, after you use those to pick up the pace, you're kind of screwed in terms of RNG, right? You have to hope that all your Mega Kicks land, and you also don't have crit anymore. So I don't think Garchomp's bad. I think Garchomp's really, really good. And also, one more thing to consider, because all the other ground types are so absolutely terrible in this game. I already opened the tab. Let's just go to that one. Like, who else are you going to use in the Solgaleo event? I mean, it's probably going to end up like the Mewtwo event, where you could just throw in Lycanroc, Sceptile, and whatever, and, you know, and you'll probably still do decent in the event. But, you know, obviously, it would be better if you have a super effective ground-type Pokemon against the Solgaleo event. And not only that, this is going to be different from the Mewtwo event. They did put emphasis on their developer letter talking about the single player aspects of the Solgaleo event. So that makes me believe that a lot of the farmable content could be in single players. They could make it so that you could just play single player and, you know, farm all the Solgaleo stuff without going to multiplayer, right? And if that's the case, Cynthia is an absolute monster in single player. Cynthia is an absolute monster in single player, especially with how quick you could get Mega, and just how much better AoE moves are in single player in comparison to co-op, right? And you get your supports. You could get Acerola in there. You could get a Phoebe in there, right? Although you probably don't need Phoebe. I mean, you only just need +2 more physical, right? Especially if you have Acerola around. I guess, or you could just throw in, I don't know, Rosanta, just to get the quick move gauge recovery on Earthquake, right? So if you run something like a Rosanta, Cynthia, Acerola in a single player against the Solgaleo event, you would probably just crush it, right? Very highly likely that, again, we have no details on the Solgaleo event yet, but I would, you know, just from past experience, how the events go, I'm pretty confident you could. I'm like 70% confident you could. That dropped dramatically. But again, it's just because we don't know the exact details of the event. But, you know, I'm pretty sure you could auto the event with Cynthia. So again, if you're farming for Solgaleo, which is insane, by the way, Solgaleo is very, very good for a free-to-play unit, right? So if you're farming that, Cynthia obviously going to help. It's going to save you a lot of time, right? If you want to spend some money to get some time, or, you know, just something with free gems, I guess. But, you know, in a sense, right? You know, if you want to save some time, so you could go do actual work and earn some more money, then you know, Cynthia Garchomp's going to save you a lot of time on the Solgaleo event. Again, we don't know how it's going to be. It might be the case that still stuff like Pinsir, Lycanroc, Sceptile is going to be better, maybe even Lance for the event, but or even freaking Palatoad, you know, if they want to slap me in the face here with my video after I just called it trash. I mean, it's oh my god, let's look at this thing, man. Look at this thing. Stats. 195 attack, right? 153 special attack. Bulk's not even that good. Speed's terrible. Like, terrible stats across the board. Mudshot. 39 damage, lower target speed. Special. X special defense. Whatever. Bulldoze. Bulldoze is not a terrible move. It lowers your target speed. But only 80 power for 3 bars, right? And then whatever the heck this is. Sharply raises speed. Okay, that's cool. Endure. Come on. Who are we kidding? Who's going to use this thing to farm the event? It's okay. People who bring Palpitoad have a very high chance to be exactly like the folks who bring Lapras into farming the 2 champions event. And if you don't want to turn into that person, then don't bring Palpitoad. Anyways, again, we don't know exactly like maybe Solgaleo just needs to be slowed to beat it. Then okay, Palpitoad, whatever, right? Highly unlikely. So anyways, again, Cynthia I think is actually a pretty decent sync pair. And also, last point, Cynthia and Garchomp are coming on a Pokefair banner. That means Cynthia very likely will not be back in a while, unlike all the other 5-star sync pairs. All the other 5-star sync pairs, you know, well, I wouldn't say all of them, but you know, most of them, Trico, Olivia, Phoebe, they're on every banner. They're on every single banner. But Pokefair units, not the case. Lance and Cynthia, not the case, right? And also, Pokefairs, they have a 10% chance of getting a 5-star in comparison to the regular 7% chance. So if you just want general 5-stars, if you want whatever, Brendan, Olivia, Phoebe, right? You got a decent chance of pulling them, because who knows when they'll get featured again, right? So overall, I'd say this, if you want to pull on this banner, this is not a bad banner to pull on, right? This is definitely not a bad banner to pull on. I personally rank this banner over the Ethan banner, even though, again, Typhlosion is pretty good. But, you know, I'd say Cynthia, 1, has more use. 2, potentially could be stronger. 3, the banner is probably more worth it. And Typhlosion is just on every other banner. And also, one more point. Like, people talk about, oh, Cynthia, you know, it's hard to get Cynthia to Mega in co-op, and for that you'll just have to use Earthquake, which is an issue, right? But you don't have to. Like, you could keep Cynthia in the back, again, with a lot of the Mega strats. Like, once freaking Leaf and Eevee come out, like, you could like have Cynthia come out after you Eevee sync move, although you probably want to have someone else before Eevee, right? And then, or actually no, if you sync me, you probably don't. You can't Mega Guard. Okay, that was a bad example. But, you know, you could have something else in there, you know, during the fight beforehand. Like, you could send out Mewtwo there, Solgaleo, and then until you sync move, then you swap in Garchomp. Then you have access to Mega, and then you have access to Slash, right? So there you go. Anyways, again, I would recommend summoning. Although, again, do beware. Eevee's coming in, 3 more weeks. Again, whatever the heck's coming in the 6-month anniversary is coming. I personally think it's going to be 2 of either Red, Dianthia, and Steven, but this is total speculation. I have no evidence of that at all. But again, I'd say Cynthia is a decent banner to summon on. High rates, it's a decent sync pair, right? You know, the typing, all that stuff. Overall, I think Cynthia is a pretty good value banner to summon on. So anyways, again, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if you guys are going to summon or not. Also, do check out when it drops, 10 p.m. PST. I will be live streaming summons. Wish me luck. Wish all of you guys luck who are summoning on this as well. And hopefully we all get Cynthia, and that would be pretty cool. Or whatever else you're looking for. So anyways, again, that's me for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and enjoy this video. Subscribe to my channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. And I'll see you guys in the next one.